So I'm back to review another week of drawings. If you are following the progress, we are learning quite a bit about ourselves and what our current drawing skill levels are at, and how to improve our drawings and learn to art better. By doing art challenges, we find out a bit more of what we don't know, which is usually boils down to learning the fundamentals of drawing and art. And bit by bit, we learn more through our successes and, more importantly, through our failures. And this week there was no challenge other than to keep drawing in the sketchpad each day, because last week was very mentally taxing and I had a few other things going on. So I left this challenge open for this week, and yes, I basically just drew heads again. But before you go down the road to pick up the eyes that you just rolled, we will be setting a new challenge for this coming week, which will give us the opportunity to start learning the fundamentals again. Yay! Day one, and I picked a couple of heads that I thought would be relatively easy so I could keep drawing without taxing my motivation and energy even further and actually get something done. And that's what this week is about. I like the top one. I think it fits nicely in the frame and I enjoyed drawing it. It was a good start to the week. The bottom one is okay as well, if not getting a little messy again. I tried a slightly different approach to my pencil strokes with the hair to try and get a lot of pencil down without making too much of a mess, to try and find a balance between speed and neatness. I don't think I quite found that here, but I think if I work on those pencil strokes, I can actually refine the process a little bit more. The face is a little dirty. I got sloppy again. Honestly, I didn't think that pencil work would be this hard or as encompassing as it really is, but I do think that if I keep working on it, it will get better. So if you're facing a similar challenge with a particular aspect of your art making, keep trying to refine that process and practicing your new knowledge to get better. Even if it takes a lot of time to refine it, the results will definitely be worth it. Day two, and things are still going okay-ish. I enjoyed drawing the top head and I probably could have framed it better, but I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. The bottom one is okay as well, but I did find it really hard to draw the head on that angle and not have bits and pieces start to slide off to the sides, or drawing things at different angles, like the head is facing one way but the nose or the mouth is facing a slightly different way. It's not perfect, but I did my best to fix all those issues, and you can probably see some of my guiding lines that I used to try and keep things together underneath. It's very faint. The hair was a really big part of the reference, and I guess in the drawing as well, and I had to come up with a way to draw it without it becoming a week-long event itself. Parts of the hair are going in different directions, but they still clump and you can still divide it into sections to make it easier to draw. It's the shading that kills me. It's supposed to be a light coloured hair, so I didn't want to get too heavy-handed with the pencil strokes, so I left it a little unfinished. With day three, at first, I thought this was going to be a great drawing. I really liked the reference and I got a good mood from it that I wanted to draw. Unfortunately, I don't have the skills yet to convey a drawing's moods on purpose. My results for that kind of thing are always mostly off, or if I think I did well on a drawing's mood and then I come back to it a couple of weeks later and that mood is no longer there. I can see what I was trying to go for, but I fall short due to mainly skill deficiency, which is good news really if you're listening and thinking that you'll never get it. Skills are something that we can work on, so it's just a matter of keeping at it, and hopefully it won't take long to start creating the right mood for a particular drawing. Anyway, back to this, and I think it's okay. It's just not what I envisioned. I don't know what happened on day four. I was probably tired. Maybe I was stressed about stuff in general, but this drawing sucked. I had trouble getting the face on. I had trouble with the angle of the head, with the pencil shading, with the hair, and then after I was done, it looks so flat and lifeless. I really wanted to work on the eyes, but I was so off the mark. I just felt like I had failed big time on day four and I was doubting myself again. And I knew after I drew this that I thought this was a failed drawing. But if I'm going to keep learning and drawing, I have to accept those failures and try and even look forward to them. I just have to get over the feeling like I just wasted an hour or an hour and a half of my time and energy drawing a shit drawing. Get over the expectation that everything has to be of a certain level, and that some days are just going to suck, and I have to get over it first and then learn what went wrong. So I think what went wrong with this is I wanted a masterpiece and I got this. And there was just too much hair and too little patience. The left eye was okay. I felt like I was reserving the light areas, which is something that I had trouble before. I think my pencils were a little bit blunt. They have to seems to work better with a very fine tipped pencil. I think it took a bit of mental effort to do that part, and I didn't have anything left for the rest of it. So everything else felt really too hard. And the only way to fix it was to move on and remember that so many other people that learn art will stop at these points and give up. But if we can move forward, if we can keep going, we are just going to get better. So day 5, and I'm kind of relieved that I knew I was going to be done with this week's drawings. I picked something I thought would be easy. It had strong light and shadow. It didn't have too much hair, so win-win. I did try and divide the hair into light and dark, but I don't think I quite pulled it off here. I think maybe I should practice drawing hair like a piece of Lego or like it's made of clay or something, and then I can work on the strands after that. I might give that a go in my spare time and see if that makes it easier to fix the issue. And the second head in profile is just a big mistake. I probably should have stopped with the first one, even though it would leave so much blank space on the page, and I don't know, I have a need to fill spaces like that. But because I did this, the second head grew again as I was drawing it and fixing and moving things around. And you can tell because the top part of the head and hair looks like it should be on a much smaller face. I mean, it really is massive. It's a problem. It's specifically to me, my problem is things growing as I draw it. So that's it for this week. I learned to keep drawing after failing. It's like eating vegetables for me. I don't like vegetables. You can tell me that they are good for me, just like my failed drawings, and I know that, but you can't convince me that they taste good. I'll eat them if I have to and bear with the awful taste, but yeah, you might not like it, but it's good for you. I learned that I can make a drawing more interesting if I frame it in a pleasing way, and I learned that I still have a long way to go with my issues, such as the things growing bigger issue, and controlling the messiness and the impatience with hair. So tell me in the comments if you challenged yourself this week. How did you go? What do you enjoy or find really difficult? Do you work on your issues or try and avoid them? I avoided them for so long, but I knew that I wasn't really getting any better until I face them and start to work through them like I am now. It's not easy, and I really admire those that have gone through this or are still trying to work things out. It's a massive task, but it opens things up for you, I think. As for the next challenge, I hinted at it a little at the start after looking at the first day, and that's composition by using a framing device. I'll put some more details in the reference file later today. I'm running a little bit late, so I need to organise it a little bit better. But once that's done, I'll upload the reference file to anyone that wants to try these weekly challenges. If you do, let me know how you go. So with all that done and said for this week, I hope you keep drawing, keep learning and getting better. And remember that we aren't done yet. And I'll see you next week.